All right, hello friends. We are working on lesson 711, weights of state birds, page 258. We're going to be converting pounds into ounces, and then we're going to do half pound, eighth pound, fourth pound, and 3/4 pound into ounces, okay? So the first part, and we have Leo here who wants to climb in my lap, so that's just the way it goes, so I'm going to keep pushing him away. So, I've got our pi here, and this is for part B, okay? So on the first one, if we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, well, how many would be in 3 pounds? So you're going to say 3 times 16, which would be 48. And so you're just going to multiply 16 times 5 and 16 times 10 in order to get your ounces, okay? So I think that part you've got okay. So for me, whenever we're working with fractions, and especially something like this, it's good to visualize. So we know that there are 16 ounces in a pound. So Mittens does not like Leo. Okay. So each slice represents 1 ounce. Okay, so there are 16 slices, and so the 16 slices equal 1 pound. Okay. So if we have half a pound, how many ounces is half a pound? Okay, so for me, that was just easy because we're just going to split 16 in half. So 16 divided by 2 would be 8. So there are 8 ounces in 1 pound. In half a pound, I'm sorry. There are 8 ounces in half a pound, okay? So now we need to know 1/8. So how many ounces are in 1/8? So we're going to shade in one part of the 8. Okay, so here we have, I wish I had a different color marker, I don't. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're shading in one part of that 8, and then we're going to shade in another part of the 8. So we'll just go over here on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So each slice equals 16 ounces. So there are 2 ounces in 1/8 of a pound. Okay? So in 1/8 of a pound, there are 2 slices, okay, or 2 ounces, sorry. That probably looks like a Z. Okay, so you see why we did that? we just cut our pi in half because we know that there's 8 plus 8 is 16, and so we have to do one part of the 8 and then 2 parts of the 8, okay? So that's why there are 2 slices in 16 ounces. Oh, holy animals. There are 2 ounces in 1/8 of a pound. Holy smokes. Okay, so what about 1/4? Well, so now instead of doing 1/8, so now we're going to take one part out of 4, okay? So we're just going to do shade in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to shade in another part out of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to shade in another part out of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to shade in another part of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we've come all the way back. So how many parts have we shaded in? We've shaded in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 ounces in 1/4 of a pound. Okay? Okay, so now they want to know 3 parts of that 4. Okay? So again, we're going to divide this into our 4 parts. Okay, because 16 is divisible by 4. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's one division of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another 4th part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another fourth. And here's our 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're dividing this into 4 parts because now we want to know how many ounces are in 3/4 of a pound. Okay, so we divided this up into 4 parts. Okay, so we're going to shade in 3 parts of the 4. So 1, 2, 3 of that 4. And now we're going to shade in another 3. 1, 2, 3 of that 4th. We're going to shade in another 3 of the other 4th. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to shade in 3 parts of our last 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, sorry, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 parts of that 4th. Okay, so how many parts have we shaded in all together? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so there are 12 ounces in 3/4 of a pound. Okay? Okay, so there's that part. And I've got Bryce trying to get into my lap. All right, so now they want to know, number 2, the yellow hammer is the state bird of Alabama. If the yellow hammer weighs 1/4 of a pound, what is the weight of 6 yellow hammers? Okay, so we have 1/4. And how many times are we going to add 1/4 together? Well, we're going to add it together 6 times. And since our denominator is all the same, we know that that will be, we don't have to worry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6/4. Okay. Well, that's an improper fraction. So let's switch that to a proper fraction, right? So how many times can 4 go into 6 without going over? That would be 1 time. And now you're going to think 4 minus 6 is 2. And then our denominator is going to stay the same, which is 4. So 4 and 2/4. So if we need to reduce that to, we can make that a smaller fraction, which would be 1 and 1/2. So the weight of the yellow hammer is 1 and 1/2 pounds. Okay? All right, so let's move on. Another way you could have done that, I don't know what happened to that, is you could have just said 6 times 1/4. Which would just be 6/4. That's another way you could have done it. Either way is fine. It all works. Okay, so is it more or less than 30 ounces? All right, well, so now we want to know how many ounces is that? So we have 16 ounces. We know 16 ounces from our little chart that we did. We know there are 16 ounces in a pound. And how many ounces are in 1/2 pound? Well, we already converted that. We're at 8 now. We're at 8. Let's add those up. 6 plus 8 is 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yay, yay me. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have 24 ounces. So yes, it is less than 30 ounces. All right, let's move on. What is the combined weight of 3 4 and 3/8 pound nenes from Hawaii and 2 7 and 5/8 pound brown pelicans from Louisiana? All right, let's do it. All right, so we have 3 4 and 3/8. Okay, so 4 plus 3/8 plus 4 and 3/8 plus 4 and 3/8. Okay. So for me, let's just add our whole numbers. So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So here's our whole number. So right now we're at 12. And if we add, thank goodness, our denominator is just going to be 8. We're not going to change our denominator. And now we're just going to add 3, 6, 9. So we're at 9 eighths. Okay? No, Leo, not right now. Okay? So we have an improper fraction. That's no good. That's no bueno. So we can either just kind of keep this right there as it is, or we can go ahead and switch this to a proper fraction. So how many times can 9 go into 8 without going over? So 1 time. So we have one whole number. And then 9 minus 8 is 1, and we're going to keep that denominator. So right now we're at 13 and 1/8. Okay, so we're at 13 and 1/8. All right, so we know how much the nays weigh. So the nays weigh 13 and 1/8 ounce. Okay. All right, so that's where we're at. So now let's add the pelicans. So, and 2 pelicans weigh 7 and 5/8 pounds. So 7 and 5/8 plus 7 and 5/8. All right, for me, I want to add the whole numbers, which is 14, and then 10 eighths. 5 plus 5 is 10, and then we're going to keep the 8 as our denominator. And let's convert that. Let's make this a proper fraction. So 10, how many times can 8 go into without going over? 1 time. And what's left over is 2 eighths. So right now we're at 15 and 2 eighths. Okay, that's how much the pelicans weigh, is 15 and 2 eighths. All right, well, let's add 15 and 2 eighths plus 13 and 1/8. All right, well, that's easy enough. All right, so 8, I said the answer. 5 plus 3 is 8, and 1 plus 1 is 2. And now we're going to add our fractions, 2 eighths and 1/8, which would be 3 eighths. So our answer is 28 and 3 eighths. That's how much they weigh all combined. Okay. All right. All right, finally, our last one is, okay, which weighs more? 5 7-pound, okay, 5 7/8 pound greater roadrunners from New Mexico, or 4 1/8 pound ruffled grouse from Pennsylvania? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so we have 5 7/8, so we can say 5 times 7/8. We're just going to put the 1 over there, and then we're just going to multiply across. So I just love doing that. 5 times 7 is 35, and then we're going to keep our 8. So we have 35 eighths, which we can convert in just a minute. And then we have 4. Oh, okay. 1 and 1/8. Okay, so for me, whenever I'm adding, there could be an easier way to do that. Let's see. But for me, I'm just going to add 1/8. I keep losing my spot. We're going to do, so this is just how I do it, just because that's what makes sense to me. But if you have an easier way than adding those, then super, do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 and 4/8, which can be reduced to 4 and, let's see, 1/2. Which kind of gives us, so that can be a problem, because right now our denominator up here is an 8, and we just switched it to, I did, but we don't have to. We can keep it 4 and 4/8 just so we can add easier to get the weight. Oh, well, oh, my brain is kind of frazzled right now. Okay, we're trying to figure out which one weighs more. All right, so right now we have 4.5 pounds for the grouse. And let's figure out what is, let's make this improper fraction a fraction. So how many times can 8 go into 35 without going over? So 35 divided by 8. So times 5 would be too much, that's 40. Times 4 is 32. So that's good. So that's 32. We're just doing division. So 3/8. All right, so it looks like the greater Roadrunner weighs 4 pounds and 3/8 of an ounce. And our Roadrunner, or no, I'm sorry, our grouse weighs 4 pounds and 4/8. So obviously this one, the grouse from Pennsylvania weighs more. Okay. So now they want to know how much more. Okay. Sure thing. So, okay, did I do that right? All right, so let's see here. So we have 4 and 4/8. So how many more ounces does it weigh? I'm just going to tell you it's going to weigh 2 more ounces. So, all right, we're moving on. I will talk to you all later. Let me know if you have any more questions, and have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.